We were going through a really rough patch, like a really rough roller coaster when it came to that. And I think that's where you just became cold.
People asked about how we reach financial freedom.
Right. Yeah,
and I don't know that we're financially free, but I will say this: we're both really good with money. I do make a decent salary, but I'm also very good with my money, and so is Ty. So we save well. We don't spend on like what we would consider frivolous things.
She likes bedding sets though.
I do like bedding sets, but I didn't buy bedding sets for like a year.
That's true.
I went like a full year without buying bedding sets.
True.
But like we love our home and we love our bed, and we just want our bed to be we just want our bed to be a certain way. Okay. We want to be comfortable in our own space. So I do buy bedding, but I don't spend ridiculous amounts of money on bedding either. But that was just like my guilty pleasure.
Those things are okay.
They are okay.
I think that my thing is, I think that even if people stop doing those things, it'll help them like save more money, but it definitely wouldn't lead to not necessarily financial freedom. Like people say, you know, stop drinking your coffee a day, make coffee at home, and those things help you save, which helps you build up a fund to maybe put towards investing and stuff.
Well, before we get there, what I was trying to say was that we don't spend on those things, and we tend to save our money. So because we do that, we don't have credit card debt.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah, we don't have credit card debt. We don't have car notes. What else do people spend? We don't have a daycare bill, which a lot of people have, which we're grateful for, because Ty's the at-home babysitter. So
that's not good. So our housekeeper, she came and she every time she comes, we don't really talk like that. I'm not a big fan of small talk, so like we talk here and there, we have a conversation, but we just don't talk like that. Like I'm with Kennedy and I'm doing things with Kennedy, and she's just, you know, she's cleaning up. So the last time she was here, the time before that, she goes, "Oh, you're a really good babysitter," and I was like, "No, Paige is my wife." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," like, you know. And I didn't take it any kind of way. I think she was really nervous, like we wasn't gonna.
She said, "Paige is my wife and Kenny is my daughter."
Right. I think she was a little scared, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Please don't, you know, fire me or not." And it wasn't like that, because I was like, well, we never had a conversation. We never really talked like that. So therefore, you know, she wouldn't really know. And I'm a very like reserved, kind of introverted person, so she's, you know, I say hello, you know, I let her do her thing. I'm not like over her shoulder and like, hey, you know, this, that, and another. So there was really no way for her to know. So Paige makes a joke and calls me the babysitter sometimes, you know?
So yeah, so we don't have like those big bills. We're not necessarily financially free. We're not bogged down with like bills and like financial responsibility, but we do save well, and we are now trying to invest.
So I would guess, well, I'm investing. I mean, I guess you are too. Cause look, listen, I get on her about
I'm just
investing.
conservative.
She's very okay. Yes,
I don't mind investing, but I'm super conservative. I want to save my coins. I do not want to see my coins disappear.
So let me give y'all a gem real quick about investing, and I try to tell her that because she saves, and she saves well, and she puts it in a saving account that earns maybe 1% or so. It's like
1.4%.
1.4%, right? But this is the thing. You save and have your emergency fund for if things go wrong, and then especially when you're young, like put your money towards investment. Take a little risk. And why I say this is because you can save, but you're getting 1.4%, but inflation is about 2% a year, so you're actually losing money. So put your money towards something to have your money work for you, so you don't have to have those things, so you can be totally financially free.
Right.
Because no, we're not totally financially free where we would like to be, where we can just do whatever we want. We still have to put in work, but there is a sense of financial freedom, where meaning we don't have debt.
Right.
We can kind of pick and choose what we want to do with our money.
Right.
Okay. So So what else?
Let's go in a different direction. So somebody asked how long we've been vegans, and are there any tips for people wanting to give veganism a shot? So we are, I would say, pesca vegan. So we eat fish and we try to stay away from dairy. I wouldn't say that we're strict vegans where we don't eat any animal products, because obviously we eat fish, and we do dairy from time to time. But most of our diet is just fish.
For the most part, we just enjoy vegan food.
Yeah, we do.
When we first started talking, I was talking about vegan food. She was like, nah, it's like cardboard. But and vegan food has come a long way. What advice I would give to someone who's trying to go vegan is really just take it slow. Be compassionate. Don't be so hard on yourself. Take it slow. Try new things.
Yeah.
Try like Meatless Monday, or just like dibble dabble, or find what you really like, because sometimes we can try to dive, you know, head in or whatever, and we fail.
Also, in your areas, try to find vegan restaurants and go to those vegan restaurants, Yelp, and see what people like, and then try those dishes.
That's true.
So this way you can like dibble dabble in different things, and you can try different cuisines that are vegan. So you can go to a vegan soul food spot, or a vegan Indian spot, or a vegan Italian spot, whatever. You can try different things with different flavors.
And I think it's just easier for us because we really do enjoy vegan food.
We enjoy food, period.
Yeah. What drives your love for each other?
That's a good question. So I will say, like, I think that our connection is genuine. We have a genuine connection, and I think that seeing you happy through our connection, through our interactions, through our discussions, like, really drives me. And it really does make me go deeper and deeper. Now, Ty is like super like deep, right? So she wants to like talk about like every single detail, and sometimes it can be exhausting, but all in all, we really do have really good conversation.
We do.
And
to the point where like, should we start a podcast?
Man, it's so crazy. So when we don't have this camera rolling, we have the best freaking conversations, and I wish that we can capture some of that, because it's just us naturally in our element.
So what drives my love for you is a couple things go through my head, but I'm just gonna pick one for the sake of time. I think that it's our companionship. Our companionship drives my love because it allows, I love our, part of it is our connection, but how well we work together despite our differences. And I love that about it, because we are very different. And I think that it allows me to like open up and be like more understanding and more compassionate, and to just also take in how you might also view and take in how you might go about something, how you might feel about something that I may do, and also just to see you care about something that I feel or something that I might do. So I think that that's the biggest thing, because I feel like we're always growing. Yeah. And I feel like with the companionship, we grow together. Yeah. Which leads us to the next question. I love you. I love you too, baby. Which leads us to the next question. The next question was, someone watched our other video where we asked each other deep questions inspired by the Anne. We're gonna leave that video down below. How has Paige been working on not being cold? Because I don't want y'all to break up.
Okay, so we're nowhere near breaking up. And I feel, you can attest to it, but I feel like I did have a tendency to be cold before. I don't feel like I have been. I feel like I've actually gotten quite warm since we've had a baby. I think emotionally I just feel different.
So did baby make you warm?
I think so. It like brings out different emotions.
I don't think that's what it was.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, no. Why?
But I do feel different. I will say I feel different since we had a baby.
And I think that some of our closest friends can attest to this. When we were having difficulties having a baby and we were finding out some things about the process, I think that it affected you very deeply. And I think there was some emotions that were coming up that you didn't necessarily know how to deal with.
Yeah.
And I was having my own emotions, and you weren't necessarily communicating your emotions, and things would just come out to where we would just like both break. And we were going through a really rough patch, like a really rough roller coaster when it came to that. And I think that's where you just became cold. You didn't have patience with anybody.
Yeah.
And then you were just becoming really cold, because I mean, it's hard to find out certain things, especially when you're dealing with infertility and, you know, finding out you have to go through this process and you can't necessarily, you know, get pregnant, like, you know, how you envisioned yourself. So I think that's when you became really cold. So yes, Kennedy being born definitely helped with that. Because I think that we were able to get over that hump. But I think that the reason you became cold, it's not like you were cold all the time, because if she was cold from the very jump, we wouldn't be together. But I think that definitely made you like...
I agree with that.
You know.
I think we're saying the same thing. Yeah. This is typical. We say the same thing, but in different ways. So yeah, I agree with that.
I want to see you guys make out. I haven't really seen that. No. I don't know if there's like a challenge or whatever, or what that kind of stuff.
We don't do challenges.
There's certain challenges we won't do. We don't really do pranks. She's crazy. Are you more religious or spiritual? Why did you come to that decision, and when you raised Kenny that way, or allow her to choose for herself?
That's a really good question.
Really?
So I think that we spoke about it in the holiday video, that I was born and raised Catholic. I made all of my sacraments. And I think that as I got older, the Catholic faith didn't necessarily resonate with me, and nor did I really, I didn't really feel connected to it. So I started researching things on my own, and I started taking my own path, and I became more spiritual. I started reading books about Buddhism, and I felt very connected to it. And what I liked about Buddhism is that it was more of a way of life, being happy and healthy and sharing goodness from person to person, being good to others, doing to others as you would want done to yourself. And I resonate more with that than I do a word that somebody said that I have to be this way. So I tend to be more spiritual, and this was like an early conversation that we had in our relationship and that we really connected on. But
for me, I'm definitely more spiritual. My religious views is more agnostic. There's definitely a higher power, and this is such a complicated situation, but I can very well believe that everything that someone believes in, or the higher power, or the religious figure, whatever that they believe in, I can never say that it's not real. And I think that religion can be used as a guide. And I think that's why certain religions were formed, just to be a guide for people. But I think some people use it as a way to control as well.
So I feel like religion was put in place for a moral control of society. And that's my personal belief, and because of that, I can't necessarily rock with religion. But I'm definitely more spiritual. I do believe that there's a higher power. How that higher power, that God looks, I don't know. Is it
I think it's a universal thing. I mean, energy is real.
Yes, absolutely.
Energy is real. And a lot of times when we say we have faith, and I believe this, and we say we have faith, and we say, oh, we talk to God, we talk to Jesus, it's really us just putting things into the universe. And it's really us just putting the energy out there. And when we first met, she was more Buddhism, and I was really into Hinduism, which is really along the same line. So I think that we definitely connected there. And you know, we went along the spiritual lines, where we even both explored like Yoruba in Africa. Then that was really cool when we actually were
trying to conceive
and have Kennedy, and that was really cool.
Yeah, we incorporated a lot of the Yoruba religion, praying to some of the Orishas. So yeah, we got into that a little bit, but you know, we're open to anything, especially when it comes to bringing positive energy or putting positive energy out there.
Now for Kennedy, Kennedy definitely will choose for herself. I always say with raising Kennedy is that, you know, our job is to guide her, but Kennedy was born for a different time. Things would just be different. If things always stayed the same, like we wouldn't be here, honestly, because our bodies evolve. Like, we just evolve. We're supposed to evolve. We're supposed to change. We're supposed to adapt. So Kennedy is born for a different time. That way, her way of life when she's 30 and 35, whatever, it will be just totally different. Yeah. So I'm definitely really big on letting her choose for herself.
Our job is to give her the tools and the knowledge that she needs in order to make the best decision
and how to get that knowledge, how to get that knowledge, how to think for herself, not to in as long as she's not harming anybody,
right?
As long as she's staying true to herself, she's not harming anybody. Like, I'm very open to just allowing her to choose for herself.
But someone wanted to know, with all the crazy shit happening in our world today, was it a hard decision to have a baby or bring in a baby into this unjust world? And that's definitely a conversation that we had several times, especially with all the things that were going on with young black men. The last thing that we wanted to do was like bring a young black boy into this world that we have to worry about every 2 seconds, you know. But you know, she's gonna have her own challenges as a young black girl growing up in this world. And yes, we do think about it. It is difficult, but at every phase over like the last 100 years, you can say that there was a difficult period for
100 years.
No, I'm just taking a snapshot of like the last 100 years alone. You can see that there were so many different periods of time where you would be like, how can people even think about bringing kids into the world? And the truth is that the world is the world, and there's good and bad in it, and you're not going to ever be able to escape the negative parts of society. All we can do is try to protect her as much as we can, and then give her the tools that she would need to be successful in navigating this world. And so we try to create a safe space, an environment that's full of love and promise and knowledge, and then hopefully she will have what she needs in order to navigate.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And one thing I want to say is that you will never know the good without the bad. There's always challenges. There's always things that we have to adapt to. Some cultures, you spoke of race, and some cultures have to adapt to things differently, more challenging things. People will disagree with that, but it's the reality of things. I need to know why. Sorry, I had to restart that. So yes, there was definitely hesitation to bring her into the world. And that's because media has changed, and the things that we see on TV has changed.
Yeah.
You know, I think there were always unjust, the world, the evil, the unjust things done in the world was always present. But I always ask, was it because being young we were naive? We just didn't know? Also, the access to information today, there's just things that we just know that we really don't. A lot of things we just don't need to know. It's not good for our mental, for our brains, like, to know about every crash, about every murder, it's really just not healthy. But I think that's also something that we've also adapted with this new age of technology and things like that, is to
the access of information has definitely increased. So the ease of access.
So statistically, in general, the world is actually, the crime and things like that is actually at a lower percentage, but our access to the information is a lot higher,
which brings the awareness
makes it
up.
Feel like
there's more of it.
The world is always, you know, someone's always out to get us, which.
But I will say, with certain types of situations, they're definitely more prevalent than they were in the past. But we can't shield her from everything, and all we can do is try to protect her and give her what she needs to succeed.
Definitely. We can go into that like deeply, but for the sake of time, we will not. So the answer was no, yes and no. Yes and no. Mostly no, but of course, they're always in the back of your mind when things happen. You're like, do I really want to bring a baby into this? But you know, we're doing our best as parents.
Right.
Anything else you would like to address before we end this video?
I don't think so. I was going to just take one last look to make sure that we got everything. Was there anything that stood out for you?
No. I do want to talk about one thing.
What is that?
Because we get this on our post a lot. It's like, where's the father? Who's the father? She has 2 moms, guys. 2 moms. 2 moms.
2 moms. We made the decision to use a donor from a bank, so it's nobody that we know. We don't.
Which happens to be an open donor. So all these ignorant comments about she'll never know who this man. If she wants to know, she can know. She will know, and if that's what she desires.
So if there's anything else that you guys want to know, feel free to hit us up at any time. We're so happy to interact with people and to answer questions and help where we can and shed a little light where we can. So keep the questions coming. We'll always we'll try to respond.
I'm gonna put the link to those 2 videos we referenced in the beginning about how we met, where we met, down below. Also our questions when we ask when inspired by the end, where we ask each other like some really deep questions that so that we answer. I'm gonna put that down below. And yeah,
also there's one last thing. So while we were away, I was scrolling online and I came across something called the stick burpee challenge. So I don't know if you've ever seen it, but look that up. So I attempted it at home, and Ty has it on tape, so we'll show you guys.
Go ahead. I can do this. Wait. No bullshit.
I did.
That's not what he did. Go ahead. So this video, I'm pretty sure, is part 2. And we will talk to you guys later. So
baby's crying. She's up for a nap.
She just woke up. That was
Look
perfect.
At God.
All right, so we will holler at you guys later.
Till next time.
Peace.